I hope you will join me in what must be a shared emerging movement for rational, honest, achievable change. A movement that restores economic vitality, creates jobs, and returns to fiscal solvency. We will put in place an economic development strategy that makes sense for the 21st century economy, aggressively competing with other states and nations for lucrative biotech, nanotech, fuel cell technology, and stem cell research jobs. We will join Connecticut to the energy economy, attracting companies that reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. We will aggressively develop our 3 deep water ports to spark commercial activity and to decrease our reliance on heavy trucking and the congestion that it brings to our highways. We will make Bradley International Airport an independent entity, freeing it to better grow its passenger base. And we will marshal all of our resources, the resources of state government, to help local projects with an economic impact. You know, I've been on the municipal side of this equation, and I know firsthand how important a partnership could be. We will work to remove the barriers that keep us from attracting employers by lowering the highest energy costs in the nation, lowering reforming our regulatory system to protect the public while building our economy. I also hope you will join me in a movement to once and for all resolve our out-of-control budget crisis and retire gimmicks and one-time solutions. We must instead adopt a responsible, tell-it-like-it-is approach to balancing and managing our budget, and treat it just like any company treats a budget, with generally accepted accounting principles commonly known as GAAP. That's why minutes before I stepped into this chamber to give this speech, I signed an executive order which begins the process of requiring the state to keep its books according to GAAP principles. We require every city and town in the state to do it, and now we'll require the state to do it. We will make state government make sense, to serve the people better, to shorten the distance between what they need and when they get it. And in the coming weeks and months, you will hear a lot about reducing the size of government. From the size of my own office to the number of state agencies. And not just cutting for cutting's sake, but reconceiving government so that better decisions are made and implemented faster. And as we go through this together, I believe it is imperative that we not lose sight of who we are and who we have always been. Not unlike when our own beloved Governor Ella Grasso said during her inaugural address in this very room, we must provide government that is efficient, that is compassionate, that is humane. But we will fulfill that role mindful of the lives that are touched by every program, aware of our heritage and our responsibilities to the people. To get there together is going to take courage, conviction, and shared sacrifice. I believe we have the courage. I believe we have the conviction. After all, we're not good at being last in anything. And I believe in our hearts we are willing to make sacrifice if we understand where we are going, what's at stake, and that shared sacrifice is really shared, that there is a fairness factor applied. But this is not sacrifice without payoff. This is sacrifice with a purpose. This is the kind of sacrifice I think my mother was talking about that will leave the world a better place for our having been here. It is a time of historic proportions when we as a people must ask ourselves who we collectively want to be and what separates us as a people. Do we believe in every woman, child, and man for themselves? Or do we believe, as President Kennedy did, that a rising tide floats all boats?